This is the week 8 third article. This one is the choice article. So, as always, you have the rest of the magazine beyond the 2 required articles to choose your choice article. This is the one that I'm choosing to make a video to read, but if you would like to do a different one, please feel free to do that. I chose this one because we do have a couple of classmates who have lost family members, and I thought it might be a good resource for them. If you do not want to do this article, if it brings up negative memories, or if you're not comfortable with doing it, please feel free to read a different one. But this is the one I'm choosing to read. This one starts on page 14, and it's called Finding Hope After Losing Her Dad. Genevieve was 13 when her father died. She didn't know how to go on until she found a way to help herself and others. By Kristen Cusick Lewis. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. Zoom in and adjust. Okay. 4 years ago, Genevieve Lou was on a trip to Lake Michigan with her parents and her 2 younger siblings. The lake was rough that day. Her father, Don, spotted 2 kids struggling in the water. Genevieve's dad was a pediatrician in Chicago where the family lived. He spent his career helping children. He didn't hesitate to help that day either. Don jumped into the water to save the kids. The kids made it to shore. Genevieve's father did not. After saving 2 children, Don drowned. Feeling alone. Genevieve was heartbroken. After my dad died, everyone talked about what an amazing doctor he was. But to me, he was amazing because he understood me so well. Genevieve's grief was terrible. She didn't know if she'd ever be okay again. I felt so alone and confused, she says. Even when people tried to help, it was hard. My guidance counselor and other people were kind, but I felt like I had to put on a happy face when they asked me how I was. Genevieve's friends were supportive too. She just didn't feel like they really understood what she was going through. A connection. Genevieve's mom wanted badly to help her daughter. Before we go on to the next page, I'm going to look at the caption here that says, "You're not alone. You feel like you're the only one who has ever gone through it," Genevieve says of losing a parent. But there are so many kids who have dealt with it. I'm going to go on next to page 16. She introduced Genevieve to a girl her age whose mother had died. "I didn't want to talk," Genevieve says. "I was embarrassed." But the girls got to be friends. Genevieve began to feel less alone. "We didn't have to talk about our parents," she says. "It helped just knowing that she had lost her mom but was still okay." Genevieve realized that other teens might benefit from meeting someone their age whose parent had died. Taking action. Genevieve turned her loss into action. She founded SLAPT, Surviving Life After a Parent Dies. SLAPT is a website where kids and teens who have lost a parent can meet and help each other, like Genevieve's friend helped her. Teens and experts on the site offer advice. We answer tough questions like, "What do I do when my dad starts eating again?" says Genevieve, or "How do I clean out mom's closet?" Slack users share feelings they might not be comfortable talking about elsewhere. Some people are angry at their parent who has died. Others may wonder if they're at risk for the illness their parent had. There is also a section where kids can create a tribute to the parent they've lost. Genevieve made a page for her dad. "I added a clip of my dad's favorite song, 'Leaving on a Jet Plane,'" says Genevieve. "He sang it to me every single night at bedtime." Moving forward. Genevieve is now 17 and a high school senior. She's proud of how SLAPT has helped other kids and teens. But creating the website also helped Genevieve. She learned that finding a purpose can help you feel better. For her, it was starting Slapped. For her brother, it's playing sports. For her sister, it's making art. A purpose helps you focus on the future instead of feeling sad about the past. Genevieve says, working on Slapped makes me feel like even though my dad's not here, I can still live a great life. Now over here it says strong siblings, the caption for the bottom. Genevieve, right, didn't want to lean on her brother Asher, now 13, and sister Amelie, now 11, after their dad died. She knew they were having a hard time too. Now over here for our activity for this lesson, says you've just read Finding Hope After Losing Her Dad. Now it's time to do this activity. Before I explain the activity, I'll read the caption for the photograph. Many people helped Genevieve create Slapped. A designer built the site. Counselors wrote articles. And today, an amazing team keeps things running smoothly. So for this lesson, your tip is to use information from the article to help you figure out how to answer the questions below. So this one's a little bit different from some of the articles that we've done before, some of the activities that we've done before, because it's asking you to imagine that you are a TV reporter interviewing a teen who has used Genevieve's website Slapped. How might the teen answer the questions below? So I know the instructions say imagine that a TV reporter is interviewing a teen. You're going to pretend to be that teen who has used the website. And you're going to use information from the article to answer those questions. So the first question is, what was the reason for your first visit to Slack? So if you imagine that you're a teen using that website for the first time, what might drive them to go to that website? Then number 2, what's one question that you have asked experts or other teens on Slack? You could use the questions that were given up here in the text in the middle column. Number 3, how is it helpful for kids who have lost a parent to connect with each other? That one's fairly self-explanatory, but it talks also about that in that middle column on page 16. Number 4, how can creating an online tribute to the parent you lost help you cope with your grief? And then number 5, if you could send Genevieve a message about your experience with Slack, what would you tell her? So this one's a little tricky because you're putting yourself into somebody else's shoes to answer these questions. You're not answering them as yourself. You're answering them pretending that you're a kid who went to that website and used it. As always, ask me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. Thanks.